Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Casper in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere. Oh, I know this one, it involves aliens, I can't deal with the aliens! Oh my god, he's gone! He's gone! This is amazing, this is great! Forgot my watermelon rind. You know, wait a minute. You tried to steal my watermelon rind, didn't you? Oh, I'm not gonna leave your sight. I'm gonna keep my eye on you, buddy. And there goes my piece. This is the latest album from Denver, Colorado progressive death metal band Blood Incantation. Admittedly a band I've known of for a while, but haven't formally reviewed an album from them. Their sophomore album, History of the Hidden Race, I did not review formally. This was back even before I was reviewing. I believe this took place in 2019, maybe even a little further than that, which I found to be enjoyable. There was definitely clarity in the instrumentation, also in the vocals, and certainly a lot of technical ability, definitely a theme to their music. There was definitely a space theme going on. This is not new to the band, which reminds me of a band like Vector, whose first 3 records I love, and you should definitely check them out. But fuck the lead vocalist though. But yes, sound-wise, instrumentation, narrative, definitely a reminder of Vector. So they're really staying true to the narrations of space, sci-fi. They're really giving it their all. But the Achilles heel for the closer of the sophomore album, and I'm talking about Blood Incantation, was it was a bit too complex for its own good. And the third album, Time Wave Zero, which to my surprise was an ambient ethereal drone album that was really more of a piece than an album, which I could see rubbing fans the wrong way on concept. And for me, on the surface, I think them doing an ambient album, a drone album, is fine. There's certainly plenty of greats that have done it. Most notably, when Pharoah Sanders and Floating Points made that fantastic album together. Also including the London Symphony Orchestra with their album Promises. But for the ambient album that Blood Incantation released, I felt it was missing something. But upon listening to this record, you do get those spatial moments, and I could draw some of those spatial moments to that record. So in retrospect, maybe it was something they were building on, maybe it was an appetizer, maybe it was foretelling of what was to come for their next project. Because this time, Blood Incantation is bringing death metal, prog, and maintaining their sci-fi themes, like altogether of a lyrical respect, sonic respect, with very persistent playing, with a lot of development, a lot of phases, and a plethora of intricacy. And honestly, they're most fleshed out yet. And after listening to this album numerous times, I was just absolutely pleased with the adjustments they made here. And these adjustments are immensely noticeable. Now, similar to Time Wave Zero, there is a similarity here with the pieces, but instead of pieces, it's tablets. That creates different sections of this LP into tablets, and each tablet has 2 trilogies. First one being the Stargate, the second one being the Message. I feel like with this album, they have really shown who they are, what their identity is, and they are indeed a intergalactic, spacey, progressive death metal band. And sonically, very committed. Very detailed. And for this album to be under an hour, it is certainly very robust. It's certainly very various for its runtime. There's moments here that carry a lot of aggression, and riffs packed with intensity, and drum fills that offer different sections, either these rapid, speedy blast beats, or these sick, tribal hand percussions on tablet 3 of the Stargate. That makes me feel like I'm about to be part of, or in this sacrificial intergalactic ritual. And one thing that has definitely been bolstered on this Blood Incantation album that you will definitely pick up if you've heard this more than once are the melodic passages of each tablet. They really laser focus on the emotional spots that are very beautiful and create a fantastic and satisfying dichotomy. And I know for death metal purists, I'm probably gonna get an eye roll for saying this in concept, but I honestly love the slower melodic parts on this record. I feel like they really add a fantastic contrast to the visceral moments here, like the nocturnal intergalactic synth moments. Also, the guitar melodies on here are fantastic. Like, there are so many gorgeous moments here, like on the first tablet, the Stargate, that have these guitar harmonies that are soaring, psychedelic, and also Floydian. Like, damn, it is truly beautiful. Like, as strange and problematic and traumatizing as the next scene was in that Wall movie, Pink Floyd The Wall, like, it reminds me of that scene where you see the protagonist just like tearing off the layers of who they thought they were and tearing off the skin and just going into an absolute horrific transformation where he starts having these fascistic delusions. I know. But if you've seen the movie, you know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. It's truly horrific, terrifying, mesmerizing, beautiful, and just traumatizing and stunning at the same time. And I love the squishy synths that just bathe itself over the atmosphere that evolves into these beautiful arpeggios. Also, I love how after that you get these decadent, blissful moments. And right after that, after you get these blissful, decadent moments, this album kicks your ass right after, with these heavy, fiery riffs, relentless blast beats. I think it's also important to note how they incorporate various elements of music here, mostly world music of different cultures, but they make it fit in so well. It's not just tacked on, it actually has personality and fits like a glove into the narrative and the atmosphere and the whole feeling of this album. Like the echo delays and the drums that sound straight off a dub record off the first tablet. But an interesting fact that people probably didn't pick up on, like it took me a while, I mean, I've listened to the album a few times and I didn't really look at the track list until I looked, and lo and behold, Electronic Legends, Berlin School Legends, Tangerine Dream is on this record? Yes, they are on tablet 2, with these otherworldly, enchanting woodwinds, dissipating keys, swirling synths. Definitely the most true blue electronic sci-fi electronic sci-fi pick you could probably feature on this album. That complement this psychedelic sci-fi hellscape. Because right after you get this nocturnal, spacious journey, ethereal, spacious detour, you get this ominous passage of acoustics and woodwinds followed by these heavy bass and drums that send you into a harrowing, nightmarish guitar passage. It's like the equivalent of a really bad acid trip in space, or where you're having this very beautiful, relaxing trip through space, and then the pilot just notices something terribly wrong. And the transitions on this thing are amazing, especially the way Stargate 2 leads into Tablet 3, which has this fantastic blend of icy prog, Middle Eastern melodies, and Spanish guitar on this record, as I alluded to earlier with the world music inclusions. And again, I love the inclusions of the icy synths. It kind of reminds me of the Krallis record that I reviewed earlier. And man, the pounding drum and guitar syncopation is just great. Along with the culty choral vocals on here that again remind me of Floyd, that appear here quite a few times. There's also these triumphant, thematic, which I believe to be woodwinds on this track, or synth keys that are just so also, while epic, harmonious, that lead into these devastatingly heavy drum fills. Not to mention the fiery tremolos just bubbling over these thunderous blast beats. And the guitar harmonies just cascading over the track. And the guitar harmonies at the end just sound so glorious. So again, cinematic. It feels like we won a battle here. It's very much epic, 90s, sci-fi, the good guys won type music. And Paul Reedy, if I'm saying that name correctly, if I'm not, correct me in the comments. I wouldn't say he's reinventing the wheel vocally, but he does have character. He does have these guttural, bestial growls that do fit in here really nicely. I do, however, wish there was more variation. And by that, I mean variation in terms of his growls. I mean, sure, we do get elongated ones, yes, and they do complement and contrast very well and fit very well. And he does bring that fear, he does bring that conviction, he does bring that performance, because when he says open the Stargate, I am definitely more convinced that he is this inhuman, demonic alien ordering me to open the Stargate, and I just gotta obey. I gotta obey. Also, I think it's important I point out another gripe, which honestly is on just one track. Like tablet 1 of the first message, where everything is mixed too close together. It's very claustrophobic, like nothing has room to breathe. But I'm very grateful that every other track has space here, but this one just sounds so hurried and rushed together. I really don't know what they were thinking with the mixing here. But the ending of the track, though, is pretty nice. But I wouldn't say absolves it of the errors that were placed in the beginning of this track. But honestly, I feel this band around went the friggin' distance. Stylistically, again, we got so many elements that fit the narrative in each piece specifically and fantastically. I feel like they do certainly showcase their influences. That's a given. Like, as I mentioned before, the Pink Floyd influence, definitely here. Even Death influence, definitely here. And maybe a little Fear Factory, like obsolete era Fear Factory. I feel like this is what would happen if Pink Floyd did a bunch of acid, and in that moment, Death went in a time machine, collabed with Pink Floyd, and somehow, some way, got abducted by aliens and brought to another world and forced to perform in that world. This is what you would get. But yeah, this is a fantastic blend of so many variations of metal and also rock and synth as well. Like, definitely nailed it with the ambient pieces here. But I do appreciate how they kept the grit here. They kept it versatile. You get some vocals that are melodic, but nothing here is too sanitary. You could hear stuff perfectly, but it still has that grit, and it's not sanitary like a gent record. We don't do those here. But I say that to say all this. This is a fantastic record. Definitely a standout record. And certainly Death Prog album of the year for me. With great consistency, not only in sci-fi theme, but musicianship, and not really a lot of dull moments here. So with each variation, each change up, they kept it engaging mostly throughout, and have made an amazing record in the process. I'm feeling a 4.5 out of 5 on this. If you've given this a listen, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? I am Caspa. I am your plug. Hit me with a sub. Show me love. Hit me with a comment, even if it's nonsense. Caspa, Blood Incantation. Till we meet again.